All right, Chiefs fans, welcome back to Scott's Two Cents. Looking at 2022 NFL Draft for the Kansas City Chiefs, rounds 4 through 7. If you have watched my previous videos on rounds 1 and then 2 and 3, you can go back and do that if you haven't. If you have, you will know that I said I don't think the Chiefs could have ruined a great draft through the first 2 days with anything they did on day 3. And they did nothing but make it better, in my opinion, and frankly, the opinion of almost all the national pundits, all the local guys here in Kansas City. It's nitpicks at best, right? This was an outstanding draft. Brett Veach, by all accounts, has hit another home run. Obviously, until we see these guys on the field, and not even just the first year, we don't know, but it's certainly great on paper. So let's talk about rounds 4 through 7. I'll do a separate video on overall. So fourth round, certainly the fourth round is a spot that Veach has done very well with. A guy you expect to come in and start, and they did it. I mean, Joshua Williams has got length. He's got long arms. He's the kind of guy I like personally to see in your secondary. Get the guy out there with length, and now you bring in a D2 guy with a great work ethic who's got something to prove, that he shouldn't have been a D2 guy, that he deserves to be here, he deserves to be drafted, and I love that. I think that's a great pick. Fifth, Chiefs traded up a few spots. I get Darian Kinnard, and I love this pick. This might be one of my favorite picks of the draft. I mean, you just can't draft size, right? You can't you can't teach size. Obviously, you can draft it. They just did. You can't teach size, and you can't teach speed. Yeah, you can help a guy get a little faster with some proper training techniques, some proper, weight room stuff. You can get guys bigger in the weight room, things like that. But for the most part, you're not going to find huge dudes like Kinnard's. Now, he needs some coaching. By all accounts, this guy's going to take it well. He's willing to be coached. He wants to work hard. And that's a great combination. Look, in my professional life, in my real job, when I'm not making videos that nobody watches, I've hired a lot of people, and I look for smart people that can learn the specific things I need them to learn, right? And that's what you have with a lot of these football players, especially as you get further and further down in the draft. Look for athletes. Look for size if you want a guy on the line. So, initially when this pick came out, my initial thought was he's going to move to guard, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You need a good offensive line. You need depth. But this is a guy experience at the tackle spot. But more and more, I think there's some thought that, yeah, he can become a tackle. Maybe not year one, but now you've got some versatility with a guy who can play guard and tackle. He's durable. I mean, he played nearly every snap in college. We saw one of the, there's a lot of mock drafts and draft services, but pretty well respected draft service had him ranked as a second round player or second round grade guy that Chiefs picked up in the 5th. So thrilled with that. And then we got into the 7th round, and 7th round guys you don't have high expectations for, but I think the Chiefs have some good shots here, right? Jalen Wilson, again, another corner. This has surprised me just a little bit here, is that we're now into the 7th round. They didn't get a second wide receiver yet. They didn't get a second D tackle yet. Of course, spoiler alert, they don't. I'll get to that in a minute. That might be the one negative I have. But look, in Veach we trust, and here we are with another cornerback with size and length, right? And again, everybody at this level needs to be coached up, but this is a humble kid who has a great backstory. We'll hear all about that throughout the season. Went back home, worked at Wendy's with his mom. So another good character guy willing to work hard and get better. And he's got the size and length. And again, you can't coach size and length, right? So love that pick. And then the Chiefs, surprised a little bit with a running back. They've also signed one and is an undrafted free agent. Look, you can never have too many guys back there. And for me, I mean, there's obviously very talented running backs and guys that make a difference, but a lot of times running backs are situational, and it's a lot about the offensive line with a good running back. So the Chiefs went on and got a fast guy that can pass block, and that's big, right? That's he played on a really bad football team. Rutgers was terrible, and so hey, maybe he's better than his numbers look. and you can't deny a 4.37 at the combines. The non-quantum is he can't break tackles. Obviously, that's not going to get any easier in the NFL. Maybe he's a special teams guy initially, but again, can't teach speed, and they got a really fast guy, and he caught passes right now. So he can do both. He's a versatile guy out of the backfield, so why not, right? The Chiefs have seen year in and year out they don't have running backs that get through the season healthy, so they need some depth here, and so I definitely have no issue with this. And then when you were sure they were going to finally get a receiver, get another body in, maybe get another D end in, no, they went safety again. So obviously the secondary was a huge problem last year, and the Chiefs have gone a long way to address it. Again, another fast guy. Nazeez Johnson, athletic, speed, 4.35 guy, right? So clearly what the Chiefs were focused on, they hit, right? They wanted that secondary shored up, and they have made big steps to do that, even with a 7th-round pick, and maybe this guy's got a chance. 7th-round guys, maybe your practice squad guys, the first year, emergency guys, second, and then maybe you look at them in a second, third year as being potentially part of this team, which is great. That's what you expect from the 7th round. These were not throwaways by any means. I think the Chiefs have some potentially quality guys here. So rounds 4 through 7. Look, I gave rounds 1 and 2, or 1 and then 2 and 3 together, A's, and certainly could have been A pluses. Had some nitpicks to say, okay, this is why they're not A pluses. So I'm definitely not going to back off an A here. The nitpick would be that, was another wide receiver and another D end the way that we would go. But I look back at that and I think this is the way fans get emotional and get caught up on. No, we trust Veach. He's shown he can nail these rounds, and so these are the guys he thought were the best available players when they came up, and that's who he took. I love it, and I think they're in good shape with wide receiver. Tyreek Hill's a tough guy to replace, but I think it changes the offense enough that it could be addition by subtraction. I think the Chiefs' offense might get better by not having Hill there. I think defenses are going to change maybe the way they play us. Potentially, you've got Scantling, who can break a defense. I mean, Hardman, I think, is going to need to step up, and that's a little bit of a scary thing because we really haven't seen that on a consistent basis. But I don't want to get too far away from the draft. But I do think that a wide receiver and DN was a little bit of a surprise not to see one more go in the 4th through 7th round. I said that in the previous videos. I thought for sure they would, but I'm not upset that they didn't. So anyway, that's Scott's 2 cents on rounds 4 through 7 of the 22 NFL draft. Subscribe to see all my rambling crap. Go back, watch the other 2 videos, and then I'll have one more on the draft overall, which is going to be pretty predictable if you've seen the other videos. And then I'm going to redo my Tyreek Hill trade video. It seems to have gotten lost. I don't know if it ever uploaded properly or what, so I'm going to redo that one as well, so you have a chance to look at that one. I got some thoughts on that, which I just gave a little bit of an allude to there. So, all right, thanks for watching.